another episode of Sample Shopping. Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be the final one of this batch of fragrances I got from Decant Shop, but fear not, I've already picked out my next batch, and if they're not already on the way to me when you see this video, they will be very soon, and we will have another month's worth of episodes. If we miss a week, fear not, we will be doing a shaving episode. I'm going to be reviewing a very nice indie brand that I've fallen in love with, but decantshop.com is who sponsors these episodes, and it is the best decant shop on the web. That is not an opinion, that is a fact. When you talk about selection, curation, speed of shipping, prices, and the fact that you're always getting what you paid for, nothing beats this shop. There's just no getting around that. I would not lie to you. They have e-gift cards, which make great holiday gifts for people who don't know what you don't know what to get them. You can easily get them an e-gift card, let them have a consultation online with Adriana, the owner, and pick out some fragrances so they can step their Sephora game up. There's also going to be a huge Black Friday sale. Stay tuned for that, and some holiday sales as well. But please remember, MAX12, coupon code MAX12 will always save you 12% off at decantshop.com. Check there. I check every day, as the owner could tell you, to see what new fragrances she got in, because I am just so stunned by the selection there. It really is my favorite online store at this point. So we're going to be looking at 4 fragrances today. First out, one from the house of Clive Christian. Haven't yet looked at this house. It's not on my radar that hardcore, mainly because of the prices. They're very expensive. They have a fragrance called Number 1 for men and women, which runs at close to $900 for 50 ml. It was in the Guinness Book of World Records for most expensive scent. Clive Christian is a house that goes back to 1872, when it was called Crown Perfumery, because they were endorsed by Queen Victoria. And in 1999, the perfumer Clive Christian took control of the brand and renamed it after himself. The fragrance we're looking at today is called the V. And this is the women's version of V, and the way that I judge women's fragrances is sort of talking about how I would feel about a woman who wore this, what I might think about her if I was on a date with her. This is named after Clive Christian's daughter. Her name is Veronica, and this runs about $400 for 50 ml. And the notes on this fragrance are going to be peach, neroli, bergamot, jasmine, carnation, ylang ylang, rose, gardenia, orange blossom, pink and black pepper, chamomile, lavender, liatris, heliotrope, coriander, honey, sandalwood, amber seed, benzoin, amber, oak moss, patchouli, leather, frankincense, labdanum, and musk. Wow. That's probably the most amount of notes I've ever seen in a fragrance description, but I think the scent is a lot more simple than all that. And the first thing that I thought when I got my nose on this was, wow, this smells expensive. Just the first thing that I thought, really. It's a beautiful, bright, floral fragrance. And what I like about this floral is how layered it is. There's real depth here, and there's real staying power. And aside from the floral notes, you also get some neroli and peach and bergamot, which adds this wonderfully light, almost sparkling body to the white floral bouquet. The price is the price, but this would be a great special occasion fragrance. You can get about a 5 ml decant of this from Decant Shop for about $90 with my discount code. And break this out really only on special occasions. You'll get about 10 wearings with that size at least. That same size, by the way, would cost you $115 if you got it from Perfume Court. And to me, this is worth it. I would love to smell this on a woman. It may be a little too floral for my taste, on what I like on women, but I think all women should have a floral scent of this high of quality in their wardrobe. It is fresh, bright, authentic, and well made. So I am a big, big fan of this fragrance. Next up, we have a fragrance from the house of Neil Morris called Gotham. And this is another house we haven't looked at on my channel yet. Neil Morris is a perfumer who was on his own, making fragrances for houses and private clients for over 30 years. And in 2005, decided to start his own house in something similar fashion to CB I Hate Perfumes. All the fragrances in his catalog are based on Neil Morris's imagery and personal memories. He's from Boston, Massachusetts, and you can order the scents on his site. And this one, Gotham, is available in a 2-ounce size for $95. And Morris says of this scent that his inspiration was walking through Manhattan and what felt to him like a summer day, except it was in October. And is born and raised a Manhattanite, now living here for 34 years. I can absolutely say those Indian summer days do exist. Sometimes I don't even take my air conditioner out of the window until around Halloween. And Morris found that day to be foggy and overcast, and for him there was a real sense of mystery and magic in the air. The fragrance has yuzu, black pepper at the top, rose and narcissus in the middle, and ambergris, myrtlewood, Russian leather, amber, and labdanum in the base. So yuzu and leather in a fragrance. Just looking at that, I was really excited to get my nose on this fragrance, and I don't know what to think about this one. I don't get the New York influence at all. I don't pick up the yuzu note. Yuzu is pretty prominent in fragrances that it's featured in, whether it be L'Eau de Ici or Yuzu Man by Caron. This is a heavier scent, so perhaps it just gets out-muscled here. I get black pepper and leather, some ambergris maybe, and myrtlewood. To me, it's a very blah scent. I hope this isn't the best from the Neil Morris line, because to me, it's just not that interesting. I was wondering why this house doesn't get a ton of YouTube hype, and the answer might be here on this piece of paper. To me, Gotham is just okay at best. Next up, we have a fragrance from one of my favorite niche houses, if not my favorite niche house, and that is Frederick Mall. The fragrance that we're looking at today is called Iris Poudre, which means iris powder. I think this is the 5th Malle scent that we've talked about on this show. I've reviewed Geranium Port Major and Dries Van Noten, and we talked about Cardinal Flower and Danse Bras on earlier episodes of Shamble Shopping. And this one, like Cardinal Flower, is primarily a woman's scent. This was composed by Pierre Bourdon. It comes in 2 sizes, aside from the travel sprays, 50 ml for $190 and 100 ml for $275. And you can get these on the Malle website or in New York at the usual suspects, Barney's, Aids de Venustis, and the Frederick Mall Boutique on Madison Avenue. This is categorized as a floral aldehyde, and notes in this fragrance are iris, vanilla, tonka bean, musk, sandalwood, and vetiver. Now, I really like iris scents. Obviously, I own the Dior Homes. I own Iris 39 by Le Labo. And eventually, I'll be getting the Healy iris scent as well. So how does the feminine take on iris stack up? Well, guys, I really, really like this. This is well done iris. I think it's my favorite floral note because it can be done in a masculine way as well as feminine. And usually, it's very buttery iris. I think it's harder to do male scents with rose or violet or lilac or lily of the valley. And I like the creamy and buttery irises equally. I would call this a creamy, powdery iris. Totally get the vanilla and tonka bean as well, along with just a smidgen of musk. I think if this were a woman, I would own this. I think if I were a woman, I would own this. It's really well done, not over the top floral. Some fragrances that are flower-centric can smell old-fashioned or stuffy, and I like how light and airy while still retaining its feminine vibe. This is really well done from Frederick Mall, but what else would I expect at this point? Finally, for this week, in this current batch of scents from Decant Shop, we have Hamma Bouquet from the House of Penhaligon. And we've only looked at one scent from Penhaligon on my channel, and that was Sartorial, which I did a few review on, and I love Sartorial. Didn't have the best experience buying it from Saks, and I reached out to Penhaligon for samples so that I could possibly buy and review other scents from the line, but that was like pulling teeth, and they never sent them to me, or even though they said they would. But regardless, I do like the house. I have a few other decants from the house, Juniper Sling and Demian, but we never did a Penhaligon scent on Sample Shopping, and this is a classic niche fragrance house that dates back to 1860. And I do give them credit as one of the older English perfumeries to have sort of evolved and not just stayed in that era. They've commissioned perfumers like Bertrand Duchaufour to make scents for their house. And this one in particular is one of their oldies. It dates back to 1872 and was created by William Penhaligon himself. If you want to get your hands on this, you can do so at Lucky Scent or Pasteur Pharmacy or Aids de Venustis. Saks carries the line as well, and 50 ml of this will set you back around $80. 100 ml will set you back about $120. Notes in Hamma Bouquet are lavender and bergamot at the top, orris root, Bulgarian rose, jasmine, and cedar in the middle, and the base is made up of sandalwood, amber, and musk. And guys, this is sort of a very old-fashioned men's scent that has floral and citrus notes, and those top notes really dominate this fragrances. Floral notes dominated men's fragrances towards the turn of the century. And what I get with this is a really ancient and old men's scent. It sort of smells like something I could imagine men wearing during the Victorian era when men wore wigs and used bayonets. It's a really old-fashioned cologne. The rose note is very prevalent, as is the musk and bergamot. Sort of smells like old books in a library. It's not a bad scent. It's just really dated to me. It's not my style, I would say. I like Sartorial by this house, but that smells a lot more updated than this one did. That's a modern fougere, and there's nothing modern about this scent in the least. I could never see owning this. It's stuffy and to me well past its time. And I'm someone who appreciates older scents. I love 4711 and Florida Water and even Knees 10, but to me this one just does not do it. So that is this week's episode of Maximilian Must Know. We'll either have another sample shopping episode next week or a grooming show, but regardless, sample shopping will be back very, very soon. If I had to rank these scents in order of how I like them, I would go, I'd go Clive Christian V number 1, Frederick Mall Iris, Poudre number 2, probably Gotham 3, but there's a big dip between 2 and 3, and Hamma Bouquet number 4. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for an niche review coming up this weekend. I'm Maximilian Must Know. I am Maximilian. I must know. DecantShop.com.